Welcome back to Under Oath. Welcome back to Under Oath.
Yes.
I'm your host, Attorney Jeff Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
Next to me is my good comedy brother,
Mm-hmm.
James John. Weird stuff happens around us.
Can I just say that it's the absolute truth?
We don't ask for it.
We don't.
It just happens.
Yes.
People do weird stuff in front of us.
Yeah.
And everything always connects. We were at this pastrami truck,
We were.
and it's best pastrami.
Yes.
And I'm not telling you where it is because I don't want you to go.
Please don't go.
Don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craig, my partner Craig, tells everybody about this place. Now we're in line.
Yeah, we get there and there's a guy going, Craig, you told me about this place.
I don't want to be an influencer.
No.
No, don't influence my ass to the back of the line.
When you tell somebody where something good is, they go there and they mess it up.
And then they tell everybody.
Yeah.
No good.
No.
Well, we're there at the pastrami truck. Yes. And halfway through the meal, there's somebody who got in an accident at let's just say, hi, everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was bad. And he went to one of these TV attorneys.
Good way to put that.
And they go, oh, we don't sue them.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I've always heard they did. They referred my case to a law office in Texas.
Explain that.
It means that somebody in Texas has a Florida license,
Okay.
and they're going to handle it in Texas.
Why would I want that? Why would I want my attorney?
You don't.
Thank you.
You don't. Because you might have to go to this office. You might want to talk to them. Oh, yeah, you could appear by Zoom. But if you're local, you want the local guy.
Yeah, I want my lawyer in the state I'm in.
And the idea of referring it out to another state so that state could handle that case because they don't have anybody here who could do that. He was very upset. He was disappointed.
He was.
And he said to me, can I help him? I said, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, we took the case, and I don't feel bad for another law firm, especially one not in that state.
Yeah.
Who is referring cases out?
In Texas.
And they can handle it here.
Yes, man.
Yeah. Why? If your firm can handle cases here, why are you sending it to another firm in Texas unless you're going to cut and don't want to deal with it?
Correct.
And the argument is always this, and I've heard these commercials, about if you've been turned down, come to us.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it's the big firms that are turning you down.
People don't know that, though.
We walked out of here the other day, and there was a tough case. It was a tough case. And they said, Jeff, can you help this person out? And I'm gorilla stomping around the office, trying to jar anything in my head to go, how can I help this dude? How can I help this dude? I mean, I'm really, and everyone in the office is like, a lot of people aren't, if you don't have the 30 years experience,
Okay.
you rely on the 10 years.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, in my 30, I've seen a lot.
Mm.
And then it hit me. Okay, I got this. And the minute I brought it up, everyone's go, oh yeah, we can help this person.
Okay.
But that takes a lot of experience. That takes a lot of screwing up.
Mm.
You don't learn through success.
No, you don't.
You learn, oh, I could have done this. Oh, I could have done that. And it doesn't mean that I was a bad lawyer 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It just meant that I don't know what I know now.
That's right.
And that's just the way that works.
Mm-hmm.
Experience is huge, man. And being able to, and the 9 bars I had to take. So now I've been asked these questions millions of times, much less having to go to law school conservatively with all the bar exams another 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes a difference.
Yeah.
So this guy came to us and I'm going, yeah, no. And he goes, well, they said it was a tough case. No, it's not. This is easy. You just have to show this, and that's it. Most of the time you hear about these big victories.
Yeah.
They're what we call in the profession laydowns.
Okay.
You come to me, hey, Jeff, I know you're the guy. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm normally the guy. What happened? Somebody hit me from behind.
Okay. That seems like.
Okay. And we were in the hospital. I was in a coma for 3 months.
Okay.
Well, first-year law student can handle that.
I was going to say.
Not hard.
No.
But those are the ones where you get the $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
You get the money, and you get the money quick.
Mm-hmm.
When the insurance company goes, oh, yeah, we're screwed.
When they go,
No insurance company ever said to me, Jeff, I think we got a really good case, but we're going to give you this money. No.
No. When they give it up, they know. Okay.
When they give it up, it's because you became such a pain in the ass or the case is clear.
Yeah.
So it's pain in the ass or they're losers.
That's right.
And that's the way it works out. So when you see one of these 2 million, he got 5 million, he got 8 million. Oh, we went to trial and got 8 million. You go to trial not because of a liability issue, meaning who did or who didn't. It's the value. And sometimes juries go, who cares? Give them 10, give them 15. It didn't mean I really did anything great. It just meant that I walked in with a winner and I got more for it.
That's right.
And I love those.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the truth. I don't get those. You know why? Because the insurance companies settle with me before I get the chance to go to court.
Yes.
They give me what I want.
Yes.
And that would be great. But, it's sad when that happens.
Well, what I will tell people in my limited experience in the law, Jeff, is don't hire a TV lawyer. I mean, don't go with like a Perry Mason or a Matlock. Okay. go to Kaufman.
Listen, there's no, how can I put it? I'm not going to put down a good marketing company.
I'm being funny when I say that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I know some attorneys who work for some of these guys who are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know some that just got out of law school.
They're new. They don't have the experience.
And I'm a firm believer in this. You can't be great unless you have the years behind you. And that doesn't mean they're not some old attorneys that suck.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who've been doing law for a long time who might suck.
Got it.
But I think you ask somebody, hey, when was the last time you went to trial?
That's a fair question. Hey.
Where have you tried cases? Have you only tried cases here or other places?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had some of the most difficult cases in the world because I've been in the middle of nowhere and had to try a case in some weird city in Michigan or Missouri or Tennessee, and where it is a my cousin Vinny situation.
I was going to say that's
where
what it reminds me of.
You have to convince juries that don't want to like you because they know you're not from there. So yeah, it does happen. But all right, give me a question.
I got a really good one for Legally Screwed this time. All right, hear me out, man. I have epilepsy. That was controlled for over 2 years. I may have had a seizure recently, but was not fully sure. I kept driving anyway, and then got into my car accident. So I'm asking if I could be personally liable if it is later determined I had a seizure. Now, first off, a seizure, I'm not a doctor, but I do know this. I have played one with my wife. But here's the thing. You know when you've had a seizure, right? Like, it's not like, man, I think I got a crick in my neck. No, you know if you had a seizure.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Here it is. It's sad.
Yeah.
I have a special needs son.
Yes.
Somebody said to me the other day, they go, if he got his license, would you let him drive? No. If you can't make the life and death decisions on the road that you have to make, split second decisions, or something could cause an impairment. If I have the ability to have a seizure at any moment,
you shouldn't be driving.
I am not supposed to be behind the wheel.
Got it.
And if something goes wrong, it's absolutely your fault. You did something knowing it could happen. And let's play this out. And listeners are going to be upset. And guess what? I don't really care, because I think the truth and I think being honest about something is a safer thing than trying to protect somebody's feelings, especially when they're responsible. Protecting somebody's feelings is secondary to potentially killing somebody on the road. I don't care what special needs you have. If your special needs caused an accident that seriously hurt somebody, I don't care. And nobody else will either. And I can tell you what, the insurance company, the attorney on the other side, and it is sad that we have a problem. And I had to do that. My eyes were bad. I had horrible vision.
Yeah.
And I barely passed my driver's license the last time I went to go take the eye exam.
Is that what made you had to make the decision? Okay.
And I barely got through it. I said, I got to do something.
Yeah.
I either have to get glasses, I got to get fit. You know what? I got my vision fixed. So now I don't worry as much on the road than I did before, potentially because I can't see something or I didn't have the ability to pay attention.
Got it.
So yes, that person is absolutely responsible. And it is a terrible life to live when at any moment you could have a seizure.
Yes.
But there's always something worse too.
It's true.
There's always something worse. This actor recently who I knew just had a heart attack. He was in a healthy dude, just died.
Yeah.
And he's younger than I am.
Scary, man.
Yeah. Anytime you see somebody dying when they're younger than you, celebrity or whatever, you're going, God.
The first thing I ask now is when I hear about a celebrity dying, how old was he? No, I was like, how old was he? And how did he die?
Yeah. Be afraid.
But I want to ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Is there cases in the law where people with a disability were court ordered that they cannot drive? Can the courts do that? Say, look, because of your own safety, you should not have a license.
If your eyes aren't good enough, they don't allow you to drive.
That's it.
Yeah. And they also, if you get certain states After a certain age, they won't.
No matter what.
No,
Dang.
not Florida, but and
No.
some require more.
Mm-hmm.
Driving a car is serious.
Absolutely.
It's a 1, 2, potentially 5-ton vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Heaven forbid.
heaven forbid.
Yeah.
And here's the thought process. Well, how am I going to get there? I don't
Yeah.
have money for Uber. We don't have great transportation.
We
I
don't.
have to get there in time. I take care of this person. I have to drive.
Mm-hmm.
How does that play out if you kill somebody?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Someone dying is a lot worse
Or maimed.
than
or
you being
paralyzed or-
inconvenienced.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We play the hands we're dealt.
Yeah.
And there are no exceptions. I'm watching this crap YouTube the other day.
Okay.
It's a real YouTube. I don't know what it was. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
Gotcha.
Reels, YouTube, Shorts. There's just so many names.
Yeah.
TikToks. This guy is in traffic court on Zoom.
Oh, I love these.
And the
I
judge,
love these.
And the judge is looking at him. And,
Uh-huh.
and there are certain judges that you know not to screw with. They have that face. And I'm not talking the happy white guy.
Oh, no.
I'm talking the old tank commander sitting behind there
Yeah.
with his glasses going. And he's watching this guy. And they're going, the next case, it's driving while license suspended. And the dude who's the defendant goes, hold on, let me pull over.
Oh. And he's in traffic court.
On the charge that he's driving without a license.
Oh,
He
my-
clearly doesn't have his license back.
Oh.
And he's behind the wheel.
Mm.
And the judge is looking, and I can see the judge going, what? What? He was so shocked.
Oh.
And here's, as attorneys and
Yeah.
judges, we think you can't get us anymore.
Yeah.
But you do.
Mm-hmm.
You bring that crazy crap to us,
Mm.
and we automatically go, what the? And the judge goes like this, he goes,
I know he was.
and he's looking over at the state, and he's looking over at the public defender,
And they're both like,
and he's doing the back and forth going,
what?
anything, people? And the public defender was like looking through his nose. Oh,
No, public defender's like, he's on Shark Tank. For those reasons, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And the prosecutor's like going, Christmas time.
Yeah.
And the judge goes, sir,
Sir, yeah.
I'm revoking your bond.
Yeah, yeah.
Please turn yourself in.
Yeah. Go immediately to jail.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So next to me is my partner in crime, almost 3 decades,
Ooh.
Craig Lind.
Long time.
ChatGPT,
Oh, my friend.
your friend. Your friend, it helps you out. You're able to find some things. We use ChatGPT in a smart way because you're going, hey, I'm interviewing this person. I have a depositions. Here are my facts. What are some good questions I could ask? And it gives you some options. The same way when I'm doing a commercial and I say, I want this, 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 and this, write me a 30-second commercial. And then it writes it, then I edit the hell out of it and go after it. The concern are people who don't edit it.
And just replace themselves with the ChatGPT.
One of the major prosecutors in Georgia, oof, she pulled the fast one. She submitted, and she's going to claim I didn't write it, but I signed it. It was mine. And
Yeah,
in
if you take
you had multiple cases that she cited that don't exist, multiple quotes that she cited that didn't exist, and the chief judge is asking her this, and she's like looking at him. You know. And see,
well, hold
only,
on.
only
Let me
other
ask
lawyers.
this. Hold on. Let me set the stage
her
a little
motion.
bit
Her motion.
more clearly. Did the judge know that they were all fake citations
After.
and then specifically ask her during like oral argument, well,
Yes.
I see that you cited this case.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
No, he
and
didn't
did
do
she
it.
try to pretend like
No.
she
He just called her out.
Okay, so he
Stop.
didn't do that to her.
He didn't like
That
set
would
her
have been
up.
worse, right?
No, he didn't set her up, which
Okay.
I can appreciate because why? Hey, could you describe this case to me knowing it doesn't exist?
Yeah,
Please
deceive.
do it. I've
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Now that's what I would do as opposing counsel. I would do that because I want you in the ground.
Yeah, here's all the rope you need to hang
Yeah.
yourself. Go ahead.
Now, for something like that, and she just kind of, any lawyer looked at that and was going, ooh, that's filthy. And she goes, I'm going to have to circle back. I'm going to have to go look into that. It's so you gave it to some Best case scenario, she gave it to an underling who did it.
I don't think an underling would do that. I don't think an underling would risk
they
their
can be
job
lazy.
like that.
People are lazy. We had some underlings here. We've had some underlings under us. All right. As a lawyer, if you're high up in your firm, every once in a while, somebody associate writes a motion for you. They do things for you. But here's the problem. It might as well be yours because you're responsible for it. And I've been responsible for some attorneys who have failed me, painfully failed me, where I was in court having to argue something that was a painful fail. And in the end, that's on me. Now, that's what you say. Your Honor, I had an associate do this. I should have.
In your case, that wasn't a made-up case or a made-up citation. It was
a mistake.
It was a position you didn't necessarily want to take, but it wasn't a bogus position.
If I would have known at the time that I was in the hole and why I was in the hole, I would have apologized and said, Your Honor, this was a mistake made by an associate of mine. This is not my position right now. But I was too busy swinging before I realized the mistake. Now, she should have answered, Your Honor, yes, this is my signature. This was prepared by, I did not prepare this. That would have been the answer. But she didn't give that.
What'd she say?
She said, I'm going to have to look into this.
Oh, she didn't fess up to it right away?
No, she didn't fess up to it while she was in front of it. No, I got to look into this. If I was going, and the judge, and here's where the judge failed. The judge go, did you draft this or did you not? Or did somebody in your office draft it? That would have been the question. He punted. He just let it go. And
really?
Maybe he let it go because she was a prosecutor.
I see articles.
She wouldn't have let it go if it was a defense attorney.
Yeah, probably not.
No. But you don't want to make a prosecutor look bad.
I've seen articles in the news where attorneys are getting disciplined and disbarred and all kinds of bad things are happening to them.
Some big firms.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the big firms, but it's a big firm
some big
who
ones.
did it.
Dare we say the name?
Big, nope.
Dare we say the name?
Big, nope. Big, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, big, but can't say it.
All right, can't
but
say. But
that's what happens when we had a 500-person law firm. There are 80, 90 attorneys who were there, and the idea that I could be fully responsible for the actions of all 80 or 90 made me sick all the time because I cared. If you don't care and it's just about the money, you go, eh. But for me, it made me sick. And I had some attorneys who were bad. And that was one of the reasons why I scaled down, because I didn't want to be in a position where I had a bunch of yahoos not caring. You remember the attorney?
Oh, I remember.
The one I know
clearly.
specifically doesn't show up to a hearing. And I called him out. I said, dude, why? You had 8 reminders. I wasn't feeling it. How do you deal with an a-hole who says, I wasn't feeling it, other than fire him?
There's no way to figure out when they're sitting across from you, when you're trying to decide whether or not you want to hire them. There's no way to figure out.
That is not feeling it.
If this is the guy that's going to say, you know what? I didn't have the feels that day.
I'm not feeling it.
Didn't have the feels.
The therapy I need.
Didn't have the feels.
And it didn't get.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know it was an option.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The reason I didn't follow your orders was I wasn't feeling it.
It's cite a rule.
It's like the Army. Hey, go clean that tank. I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
Not today.
Yeah, that's something that's making me crazy now, because here's the thing. We have politicians, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on this one. Don't tell military men what to do. You're not in charge of them. Don't be giving them advice on what they should do or shouldn't do. They've been trained to follow their orders. Okay? So when you say to them, hey, if somebody tells you, don't listen to the people telling you what to do. Okay. Senator douche or Representative douche, unless you want to be directly responsible and do the time that he's going to have to do, or take responsibility or take his punishment, then shut up. Because the first guy who's a 20-year-old kid who goes, well, the senator from this said, I need to think on my own and I shouldn't be doing this. you're going to go to jail. You're going to get kicked out of the military. You're going to lose your benefits. And you can't go, well, Senator Douche told me to do this. The most dangerous thing you can do to a military person is tell them to think on their own. There's a chain of command. We're told to go into battle. We're told to do dangerous stuff. We don't get to say, I'm not feeling it. And I guess that's where
What do you think of a potential suit against Senator Douche or Representative Douche?
For what?
Hey,
Treason?
I'm in the military. I just started. I'm 25 years old, and this guy told me to go.
And I got in trouble.
Go do this. I'm supposed to arrest these people, or I'm supposed to guard this station, or I'm
And I
supposed
didn't.
to not let these certain types of people through. But I didn't follow my orders because Representative Douche told me not to.
Yes.
And then I got fired, and I
Yes.
got court-martialed, and I got kicked out. Now I want to sue Senator Douche.
Yeah.
You told me. I followed your instructions. Was that negligence? Are you out there committing just mass amounts of negligence, telling people not to follow their orders?
You know what? The argument's
Is
going to
that
be
treason?
Hold on. The argument is going to be, you affected my First Amendment rights. But there are caveats to the First Amendment. I can't tell you, I can't scream fire. I can't do certain things. I can't swear on the radio.
First Amendment is to protect your opinions, not to give orders.
Well, the argument's going to be, well,
I want to make an argument
I didn't
why
know
this should be advocated.
I didn't
why
know it
that
was an
should be
illegal.
advocated.
It wasn't an illegal order that he gave. I didn't know what order. I was just saying that something that's clearly illegal. It's stupid. And here's the thing: just shut up. These people, when you're in the military, it sucks. You know, the things you get asked to do on a daily basis, the living conditions sometimes, being in the field for months at a time. You have no idea what it's like sitting in an airplane for 6 hours, crouched over, you got equipment stuck to you, and then they go run out of the airplane and you're scared to death. And this is just training. Okay. I don't get the opportunity to think about things. So when your dumbass says something like that, I don't care if you're, I don't care what side of the fence on it. If you're going to go, well, Jeff, that's very Republican. It's not Republican. It's Army. It's Navy. It's Air Force, Marines. You get orders. I don't get time to go, I wonder, based on what this senator told me, do I have to follow this order because I don't want to clean the toilets today? Stay out of the military's
lane.
You don't know anything. And if you were in the military and you say something like that, you're an idiot. So watch this right now. If you're a representative, you're in a position of power, and you ever tell a military guy to not follow an order, you're basically saying, hey, my intention is to hurt you for me to look good. And that makes you a piece of crap. Sorry about that. I've been holding that for a
We
week
started
or
off
two.
with ChatGPT, though.
ChatGPT.
Your friend.
I call it a brilliant toddler. It takes the information it has, it compiles it, it makes it look really good. But if you don't edit it, if you don't check it, it's going to blow up in your face.
It is a good way to get started on something. But
Yep.
if you think
Good
that,
ideas.
if you think, okay, hey, this is a finished product because I typed in a couple of prompts, you are sadly mistaken. It is wrong sometimes. I've caught it being wrong sometimes. I've caught other attorneys thinking that thinking that their case said something and it didn't say that.
And do you think ChatGPT understands trademarks all the time or copyright? It can give you something that it's somebody else's, and you could be busted for plagiarism. It doesn't always say where it got it from or write a song. It could steal a melody and doesn't go, oh, well, we know this melody was copyright, but we just gave it to you. Like you've done the thing where you created a song.
Oh yeah, did you like
and
my
you felt
song?
cool.
I did a AI song I generated. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, but you don't know who it stole from or where it
Well, yeah,
put it together.
I have to trust. I don't know.
Could you imagine you put it out and it's great?
I don't know how to figure out if a melody is copyrighted or not.
That's what I mean. Is there software that will break it down and teach it? I'm sure there's a piece of software that goes, oh no, we listened to all the music. You're stealing this note, this note, this note, this note. Here's
There's
the
only
line.
so many notes that
You're
are harmonious together. I mean, there has to be all of the songs that sound good have to have been already written.
There's a songwriter, performer, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran did a song. He got sued by 7 different songwriters who claimed it was their song. It can't be all 7 of theirs.
Well, it sounds like 6 other ancillary lawsuits.
Yes. And a lot of times these guys wind up paying everybody off. Now, he kind of said, okay, here's this chord, and here's this chord. There are only so many chords.
Yeah.
And every song uses one of these chords. And still, he got to write a check. It just happens. It's unfair. Every idea was on a cave wall someday. It came from that. It was on a cave wall.
You're making the nothing new under the sun argument.
Nothing new under the sun. I got yelled at. I did a vampire book. And this guy goes, I have a vampire book. Did you write it? No, it was my
did your
idea.
vampire like have to suck blood to sustain himself? Oh, that's my idea.
Oh, that's my idea. Yeah. He came to me, he goes, mine was a criminal prosecutor who gets bit. He goes, well, I did one about a cop, and I never put it out there, but, you know,
You got
what do
it
you
from
mean
me.
you never put it out? How would I get the idea? But even so, I go, when did you come up with it? Oh, about 10 years ago. I said, well, there was a German show called Midnight Suns who you need to write them a check because the officer was a vampire. What?
Was it what?
What? I said, I love the show. I watched it like 30 years ago. It was a great show. No new ideas, dude. Now, if you steal scene for scene, okay, you got a problem. On that note, keep using ChatGPT for good things and don't use it for evil, and check that MF because you're going to pay if you don't. Today we have veteran, writer, and creator of his 20th Pike Logan novel, Brad Taylor. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
You know, before we start talking about the books, I served 3 years in the 82nd Airborne a long time ago. And a lot of people, when they do 20 years and they get out, they lose purpose. And I saw a lot of my friends who were suffering when they retired and everything else like that. You know, you've survived it pretty well. You know, what advice
Yeah.
would you give to other veterans who are they're short, they're getting ready to get out? You know, should they have a plan? Is there anything that you would recommend?
Recording in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that, and purpose is what it is. That's the kind of the one thing you do lose. You lose a camaraderie and you lose, the routine and the discipline and that kind of stuff you had on a day-to-day basis. But what you really lose is a purpose. You miss that working for a greater good, working for a national effort. And I would recommend getting into some veterans organizations charity events. Like I'm an ambassador for Special Operations Warrior Foundation. We host events here every year. And you get still linked into the veteran community and you still have a sense of purpose. That's what I would recommend.
Now, you started the Pike Logan novel. You're going, I got to write a book. And suddenly you're teaching at the Citadel and you have time to write it. And you're going,
Yeah,
okay, let's do
exactly.
this.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just, in my head, I always had this sense that I would write a book one day. And I was in a special mission unit at Fort Bragg, and deployed since 9/11. And so as a break, I just came down to the Citadel to teach for a couple of years, and I was going back. And I had a ton of time on my hands. I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I decided to write a book. And I had no intention of setting out to be a writer. And to my surprise, it sold. And I had to make a hard choice. I came out on the promotion list for colonel. My daughter was entering high school. My next assignment, they told me, was 2 years unaccompanied to Pakistan. And I couldn't publish the book if I was staying in the military.
Yeah.
And so I decided to turn down the promotion and give writing a try.
I can't imagine that moment where you're going, okay, I've been doing this for 20 years. This is it's a major defining factor of who I am. Was it more the book or being away from your family that I think made that decision for you?
It was a confluence it was more family stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that the book had sold, because my daughter was an Air Force brat and she went to 4 high schools in 4 years. I was looking at the same thing with my girls.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because I spent a majority of my time at Fort Bragg. So they were kind of stable. Yeah. I mean, when one daughter was born in Okinawa, the other one was born at Fort Bragg. And so there were a lot of competing interests going into that.
Yeah, I did my time at, Vietnam, whatever we want to call it. It was a lot of different names when I was there. I remember that's the hard thing. As a veteran, things change. And when politics get into the military, it's really difficult to figure out. And the best thing for me was never to say anything. You know, people always asked me. And I guess when they changed the name back to Fort Bragg, did that make you happy? Or was it or were you happy with the other way? Or did it not even matter?
It didn't. What mattered to me was exactly what you said, that it was injecting politics from the beginning. It was
Yeah.
injecting politics into the discussion about the military. And they're kind of caught in the middle of it. It'll always be Fort Bragg to me just because that's what it was. I'd have to think, what was it, Fort Liberty? You think about what it was. But I wasn't upset that they changed it. I wasn't upset that they changed it back. I was upset that this was even a discussion.
It's a tough thing. Now, your character, Pike Logan, you say it's not based on you. You said it's based on the people you knew. The hard thing I know, because I also write comic books and graphic novels, is when you write that first book and it takes off. And people go, we want more of this. And you're going, well, I was actually thinking about writing something else.
I actually wasn't thinking, like I said, I had no intention of being a writer. So when the guy bought the book, my first publisher bought the book, his questions to me were kind of funny. It was, number one, did you really write this book? Because I guess there's a lot of people who don't really write their books. Yeah. Number two, were you really in special forces? Because a lot of people lie about that. And number three, can you write another one? And I was like, I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, I think I can. There's enough bad stuff in the world. I can go for a while.
Now, I don't know if I'm older, but I was in the military in the 80s. And we grew up, all the military guys, we had the Mac Bolan books. We had the Remo Williams book. Yeah. We had, those were our books back then in the series, the Mac Bolan series. I think there was like 200 books. How do military guys come up to you and they go, we love this? Or they go, did they argue with you if this could happen or this couldn't happen?
No, actually, what I mostly get from military guys are ideas. So, I love that last book, and I just did it, a mission in Syria or wherever. And you ought to look at these guys because they're not, nobody's really looking at them, but I think they're going to do something. Things like that.
What cuts me up is, I've put some military stuff in some of my comic books, and a guy will come up to me and will say, hey, that's not the way this weapon looks. And I listen, I'm not the artist. I just told him to draw one.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have that same problem with cover design. So sometimes they have a cover design, and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Because Pike works clandestinely. He's running around the world he's doing concealed carry. Everything he's got makes him blend in. And then the cover will be somebody with plate hangers and helmets and radios and, HK-416 blasting through a door. I'm like, no, you're giving the wrong impression of what this book is about.
Now, a lot of people don't realize how tough it can be to write the same character over and over and over again and to come up with the ideas. Now, I talk to a lot of writers. Do you know your ending before you start the book, or do you just kind of start? Do you outline? What's your process?
I would have said up until my 9th book, I would say did know the ending. I don't do an outline. I do what I call a framework. And so I know the threat vector. I know the setting where it's going to be in the world. And I would say I know the ending, but then on my 8th or 9th book, I changed the ending, not because anything happened, but a good example of that is this specific book, Shadow Strike. I started writing that before any of this stuff in Iran came up, and it's about, Iran's asymmetric ability to attack us. And the original culminating event was Iran developing a ballistic missile technology that could evade the Aero systems, the Iron Dome, and all that stuff that Israel has, and strike their nuclear capability. Well, right as I finished, I was typing the last chapter, Israel attacked them, and we did Midnight Hammer, and we wiped out their ballistic missiles. And I'm like, well, there goes that book. So that ending definitely changed. Now I look like Nostradamus because I had to find a different threat vector, and I settled on what everybody's talking about now, the enriched uranium everybody's looking for. Well, I know where it is if you read my book. So that's the threat vector I picked.
It's so weird that when you're writing a book, if you do anything even slightly topical, you take a risk. I had a character in one of my books where he winds up becoming a handler at Westminster Dog Show. And the dog I had win, I said, there's no way, this dog hasn't won in years. The dog won. And I'm like going, and I was stuck because the art was stuck. And people were coming up to me, oh, how did you know? I'm going, no, stop it. I was just writing a book.
Yeah, so you want to see around corners, you want to be cutting edge, and I try to be as cutting edge as possible. But the problem with current events is they're current. I wrote Dead Man's Hand, which is about the Ukraine war against Putin, and I told my publisher when I wrote it, I said, there's a risk in writing this book because number one, the war could end. Yep. I don't think that's going to happen. Number two, Putin could get deposed. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, I turned that book in, and then Prigozhin crossed the border doing his coup, driving to Moscow. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
You can't win some days when you're writing. You're going, God, I didn't even think of this. Now, what makes me crazy, I only did 3 years in the military. But when I'm watching television, I'm listening to people who've never served or don't have an idea, and they're just saying they should do this and they should do that. I mean, I don't want to put my opinion forward. I'm dying not to go online. But how tough is it for you to go, oh, come on, guys? I mean, is this what we're really arguing
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, and I do. When I get aggravated enough, I'll put out. I write. I have a national security blog. I'll write about, or I'll do videos. For instance, this Iran conflict. I did a 40-minute video on the Iran conflict, and the main thing is just I do it just as an analyst. I don't have. It's not right. It's not left. There's arguments that people use to sway something one way or the other, and I don't like that. So when I see that going on, right now, if you watch TV, you can pick a channel and decide whether the war is going swimmingly or we're all doomed. And it's a gray. It's not black and white. And so I will do things like that, but for the most part, I do stay out of it.
I think our country's a little spoiled now in the sense that, wars used to go on for years, but we're used to
Yeah.
these conflicts. Oh, Grenada, 10 minutes. Certain things, we just wipe everyone out and it's over. And they don't realize that, war is serious. Our soldiers are going to die and it's painful. And you just don't know what to say to people when they're in your face. How do you feel? I go, listen, I get told what to do. I was in the military. I didn't get to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it, I think it's actually goes the other way. And in order to succeed in Iran, you're going to have to change the ideology. That's just the way it's going to happen. And the only way to change the ideology is regime change, which we are not going to do whatsoever, precisely because we had such a long conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. And that is clouding, I think, our judgment. Not that I'm saying I think we should do regime change, but if you're going to go to war, you have to have a strategic objective, and that strategic objective is going to be met by certain conditions. You can't do it halfway. And so if you're not willing to do what's necessary, then don't go to war.
I ride the line. I have to because of what I do. I'm an attorney. I'm a broadcaster. I write. I'm not going to go out of my way to tick off half the country,
Right.
because we are such a divided country. So I try to keep it honest. But something's really throwing me lately, and it's our politician telling soldiers not to follow orders. And they've never been soldiers. They know you don't get to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I disagreed with that, obviously, and I think anybody in the military probably did disagree with it. But I also disagree with them now attacking. There's 6 people who did it. Who's the one person I can get? Well, that guy was in the military. Let me go after him.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is turning into an S show, if you will. I wish they had never done that. It was unnecessary. All it was divisive. It didn't serve a purpose other than their specific base to gen support up for them. And now we're going the other way, and it serves only one purpose: to generate, support for this base. And the people caught in the military are in between the whole thing, and it makes me sick.
When I served, before I got out, it was before, the war in Iraq. And, soldiers were still not cut a break. They still had feelings about Vietnam and stuff like that. And it wasn't until after I got out where people started thanking you for your service. And there's a disconnect between a certain group of soldiers who, when they say, hey, stand up, be this. And, some of us are still like, no, we're good. We don't, we know this is the thing. What would you say the best way to get over something like that would be?
I still haven't gotten over it. I mean, I mean, it's a volunteer force. I volunteered to serve. When people are effusive in praise with me, saying thank you for your service, I kind of say, they did pay me.
Yeah.
I wasn't forced to do this. I served 22 years, but I could have left at any time. So, I appreciate very much them thanking me for a service, but it does make me feel a little awkward.
Now you're doing something. This is your 20th book in the Pike Logan series. I was told to revisit a character I did 25 years ago, and I was thinking about the mistakes I made in my first books. And that's the hardest thing for me to go, God, what was I thinking back then? I mean, have you had the opportunity to clean up some things and go, okay, I've adjusted this, I've adjusted that, because it was a little too vanilla in the beginning?
Yeah, there's several things that, like, I read my very first book, and there's certain things in there I kind of cringe at and say I would change that. But there's other things that I'm like, man, I haven't written anything that good since. But most of the stuff I've cleaned up is tactical because you were in the military. Military people cuss. That's just what
Yeah.
it is. We cuss. And so when I was doing my dialogue, I was talking just like I used to talk, you know? And then I started getting emails. Why are you using the F word? Why is
Yeah.
he saying GD? And so I did tone that down. I'm like, okay, civilians don't talk like that. So I better take that out.
Yeah. In comic books, I have to use symbols. I don't get to, it'd be like
Yeah.
F, whatever dollar signs or whatever I put in. The hard thing is this, is I didn't realize I used it so much until you're right. Your audience will say
Yeah.
something to you. And do you feel, I felt bad. I'm going, God, I hope I didn't make this person unhappy.
Yeah, I do. I'll get emails and I'll respond to them. And my wife actually calls it the I won't use the word, the F factor.
Yeah.
So when I finish the entire book up, I will search for the F word or a bunch of other cuss words. And when I get to that point, is it really necessary, or are you just talking like you're in the military? And if I am just talking like I'm in the military, I'll delete it. But sometimes it's necessary, so I leave it in. But they're very polite and just saying, I wish you wouldn't, curse so much. So I learned my lesson.
Now, you probably suffer from the same thing I suffer from, where ex-military buddies are always asking you to put them in their books. Could you put me in your book?
Yeah, I have. Well, I had to be really careful. So my guys are from a clandestine organization. They all have call signs, and I've kind of run out of call signs because you don't want to use the call sign that someone else uses because then they think you're writing about them.
Yep.
There's only one person. I'd run out of call signs. I was on a security contract with a guy that I used to serve with who looked like a Call of Duty character. He's 6'4", bald head, big beard, muscular. And I said, hey, can I use your call sign? And he said, well, is he going to be a baby? He didn't say baby.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he won't. I promise. I'll let you read it. And so I created him just like he looks. And of course, he's a, good dude. And he said I could use his call sign.
Yeah. What I love about it is the weird requests I get from these guys. Hey, kill me off in your next book. As long as I die in the first minute, I'm good. And I'm like, everybody wants to die in a book. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I just did. I just came from a charity event and I auctioned off a character, and they were asking me what kind of character it is. And I said, well, I can tell you one thing, he's going to die. And so they're like, woo.
Yeah. It's strange. You've been writing this series and it's been very successful. There has to be something that you're going to go, writing a book takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months to even a year. And that's time. So you choose to do that next book, and you're choosing that book instead of another book. Is there any book that you've been wanting to write that you've had to put down because, of this successful series?
I've actually had an idea for a standalone, but it wasn't that I didn't have time to do it. Is that it was a little bit too science fiction-y, and I don't do science fiction.
Yeah.
But now with AI the way it is, the way things are going right now, it's not science fiction anymore. It's plausible. 10 years ago, it'd have been, that's just stupid. Now it's like, well, I'm reading about this, so I might revisit it.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask the question because I know your fan base really wants to know. Every time you read a book and it's your favorite character, you want to see them get to the next level. They just go, hey, what's the odds of them making a television show or a movie? And I know people have come to you and they go, hey, we're going to do this. And then you wait 6 months and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, the Hollywood's a weird beast. I mean, statistically, there's 1% of the books that are optioned actually make it to the screen. Most of them end up in development hell and never go anywhere. And so I've had a lot of feels, and it's happened just basically what you said. So my usual answer is I didn't write a screenplay. I wrote a book. I write for the reader. If that happens, I'd be great. I actually don't look at it as the next level. I look at it as just a separate media. I'm on my level. I write books. I'm a New York Times bestseller, and that's my job. If I wanted to write screenplays, then I would turn around and write screenplays.
What's interesting is every time somebody came to me with one of these things, oh, we want to take this book here, we're going to do this. And after getting beaten up so bad, you don't quite know how to respond. And I wrote a book about 9/11, and it was a superhero book about 9/11. Well, now it's going to be in the 9/11 museum in August. And
cool.
The person kept telling me, hey, I go, if it doesn't happen, we can't, for some reason, once you get burned so many times, you don't even pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have a guy in LA that's shopping my stuff around, and he sends me updates, and I'm like, when you have a contract, let me know. But other than that, I don't dwell on it.
Well, hey, I can't tell you how great it is to talk to you. I'm sure you go all over the country signing. Are you doing any of that soon with the 20th book?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I just came back from Fort Lauderdale. Last night was actually the book launch party here. The Windjammer is a beach bar here in Charleston. It's in the book, so we did the launch party there. And then tomorrow I start the tour first off in Atlanta and then travel all over the country.
And what website can they go to be able to see, or social media page they can go to see where you're going to be next?
Yeah, they can go to bradtaylorbooks.com. They can read an excerpt of the book, but they can go to the events page and see where I'm going for each day. And Brad Taylor Books is also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're posting all over those places.
All right. Well, I can't tell you how great it is to talk to you, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.